Welcome back to Carmageddon Car Chat with Boomer Ben here. And today I'm joined by a friend of mine, Nathan King. Hey, Nate.
Hi.
So we're going to talk about one of his cars, at least in this recording, and that is his 2002 Subaru Forester, which out of his 4 cars that he's had, that is my favorite, and it's the OG one he had. So just tell me about what it was like having that car.
Well, yes, heavy on the OG, my first ever car. Oh my god, it was a dream come true. I've never, ever in my life had a car like that before. We got it from some random dude off of Facebook Marketplace.
That always the best place to find a car.
Literally, they're always cheap. They're always like semi-reliable.
But you're still a little bit like, well, it's not Facebook Marketplace. Like,
Yeah.
How good is it? Does it have all 4 wheels? Does it actually go backwards?
Literally, I'm not gonna lie, I was terrified because I didn't really have a say in my car either. My dad was just kind of like, we're gonna find something that's cheap, and that's that. So, but yeah, I think it was in Marble that we picked
Well, at
up.
least it didn't Calumet. At least it wasn't Calumet.
Oh god.
Could have been worse.
Yeah, for real, Calumet would have been a really scary place.
No. But I loved your Subaru because at one point, I, of course, had my Subaru Outback. You had the Subaru Forester, and our friend Bailey had a Subaru Impreza wagon, and so it was the Subaru trio, and I absolutely loved it.
Me
because
too.
It was the Subaru gang.
The Subaru squad.
But then y'all just didn't treat them right.
No, absolutely not.
Well, Bailey got into a little bit of an accident with her.
I kind of forgot that,
You need a...
cars need oil changes.
Didn't you forget that, like, 3 times?
Crickets. Yeah. Well,
But now you know.
yeah, the problem with my third car, a little off topic, but yeah, my first 2 cars completely destroyed because I forgot to either change the oil or put oil in them. And
Oh my god. Side eye.
my third car, my Honda, that failed because it didn't have enough antifreeze, and so it got so hot that it actually it melted my dipstick into the oil. Oh, it was awful.
Oh no, it still sounds like a you problem.
Yeah.
So apparently you're not good at anything to do with fluids in car engines.
No, don't bother to ask me to check that.
You better not mess up that Buick.
No, I've been keeping good care of her. I check the oil, I check
Good,
the
because
fluids.
that's the nicest car I've had since the Caddy.
I know.
Well, a step down from the Caddy.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Still very nice.
But yeah, but getting back to your Subaru Forester, was there anything like any particular features on it or any quirks about it that you kind of like miss or were very kind of in a way unique to your car that you're like, I miss that and I wish all my cars had that?
All right, I literally put this exact thing in my notes.
Good.
The one thing I loved about my Subaru is that it had an open trunk that I could just
hatchback.
Yes, I could sit in the driver's seat and just chuck shit back.
You're like, this McDonald's bag, boom, we're back there.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, this other part was a little inconvenient. I put in my notes, like Ethan said last episode for his car, I had to use a cassette to aux converter.
Oh, yeah. But did your car only come with a cassette? Or did it also have a CD player?
It was cassette and CD.
Okay, cassette and CD, a little bit nice there.
I was living it up with that one.
Wait, oh my god, so you actually listened to my last Carmageddon episode. You just casually dropping the name of a friend that's not in your life is really weird. I'm like, you don't know him. Don't talk about him.
You don't know nothing about him.
You don't know about Ethan.
My apologies, Ethan, if you're listening. I don't know you.
Girl, he ain't listening. Nobody listening to this.
Oh my god. It's okay. We're here.
Yeah, we're good.
Honestly, I Honestly, that was like the two main things that I really, really loved about my car. Well, one main thing is the back trunk. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, that's nice about, I mean, I love Subarus for, I mean, it's versatility.
literally.
It's versatile, you know.
Reliable. Lasts
Reliable.
forever.
As long as you change the oil.
Literally. Ooh, don't forget to do that.
Oh, yeah. I know one thing that I really liked about your car. It's nothing like too special, but I feel like you don't really see this on cars nowadays. But I liked how your doors, like, they didn't have a door frame that went around the window.
Oh my god, yes.
And like, if you rolled down the window, it was like there was no upper door frame. It was just the bottom of the door, and so it was. I don't know. It's just there's something nice about just gripping onto like the bottom of like. Well, the window will obviously when it's rolled down, and just having no frame there around the window. I just really like that.
I can't even describe the feeling of just being able to, like, the windows all the way rolled down, and I open the door, and I get in my car, and I don't even have to, like,
it's almost kind of like a convertible door feeling, because, like, convertible doors obviously don't really have a frame around the window, and so, and I thought, and when the windows were rolled up, it looked cool when you opened the doors, and, like, it was just, a part of me was like, on the one hand, it looks really cool. On the other hand, I'm like, there's no frame around the window, so I feel like it could just easily just break and shatter.
Literally. But yeah, nothing would beat that feeling of just being able to have the driver's side like door window rolled down, and then you open it up, sit into the seat, and then you don't even have to like pull the handle. You just reach over and take the door towards you.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that kind of like feature design on a car is kind of like a retro design in my opinion, because I feel like even for the 2000s, like I mean, I feel like most cars by the 2000s had frames around the window, and so I feel like frameless door frame windows I feel like was very much more of a like a 60s 70s thing, and so that's kind of why I like that feature on your Subaru, because it kind of sort of recalled back to like the earlier designs of cars.
Yes, it's kind of nostalgic in a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a 2002, that's over 20 years ago, so that in itself is nostalgic. Imagine having a car older than you.
Ooh, yeah.
Could not be you.
Could not be me. Only did that one time. The Honda.
Oh, wait, what do you mean?
My Honda was a 2011.
Yeah.
That was the only car that was, like, younger than me.
But isn't your Buick younger than you? It's 2006, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. I guess... Oh, I didn't even think about that.
God, so stupid. I have to remind you about your own cars. Jeez.
You need to do a background check on the people you're bringing on here. Intelligence check.
Screening. I need screening.
IQ test. Beforehand.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know, so just... I guess, what else about your car? Like, do you go on any fun trips with it, or was it more just, like, a daily driving car that, like, well, me and my girlfriends, we went to Caribou.
Honestly, yeah, it was more that, but, I'm not gonna lie, there was a couple times where I would take it out just to go for the day to Duluth.
Day driving to Duluth.
Yeah, or Wisconsin.
That's how bored we are around here. We go driving for fun.
Literally. I also really, really liked how versatile it was for, like, off-road situations, too.
Well, all-wheel drive, baby. All-wheel drive.
Best car I ever had for, like, off-roading type situations.
Yeah. Definitely, I don't think the Buick or Cadillac would...
They're not
or
going
the Honda.
up a hill.
They were going off-road. They touch a gravel road, and they're like, what is this?
What's going on?
They're like, my prestige wheels cannot touch
I'm going
this.
home.
I got 3 inches of ground clearance. I cannot go over this little hump of grass.
No, ma'am. Specifically for off-roading, there was this one time, well, on the Coleraine Cut Across, if you decide to go right down the road to go to Magnetation, the mine, there's a little side road on that road.
Yeah.
That it's like a little path that leads back to like a little shoreline, but for a while there wasn't anything in the way of it, and at one point they ended up like putting a big pile of dirt right in front of it, and I was able to take my Subaru and just drive right over it.
You're like, this pile of dirt, she ain't stopping me. Boom. You know, we go right over it. Dukes of Hazzard, that shit.
Literally.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not that dirty with my Subaru.
She takes care of her.
I like to put new oil in my Subaru. I like to change the oil in my Subaru.
She checks her fluids.
Oh yeah, I me's 10-year-old. I gotta take care of her nice and good.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah. But I don't know, what else do you like? What else in your notes do you like about your car?
Well, my notes are quite short. I'll put that. But
just like the lifespan of your cars.
Literally. Literally, like, none of them have lasted, I think, over, like, 2 years each.
Not even a year, I want to say, honestly. I think the Subaru, you had that the longest.
I think that was...
When did you get that?
Oh, I would have that in my Snapchat memories. I'll look at a moment. But I want to say that was, I think, summer of 2020? Yeah.
So going into your junior year?
Yes.
Okay. And then you had it for like a year, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it was 11 months or maybe even over a year.
Because you got the Caddy after I graduated. I remember that.
Yeah, and that was...
So didn't you get that in like the summer or early fall of 2021?
Yeah, I think that was early fall or winter of 2021 because I know I had that when I was taking my my senior photos.
Oh, nice. So wait, did you take any pictures with your Caddy? Don't be embarrassed.
I guess I did. I won't lie.
No, don't be embarrassed. Listen, you gotta flaunt off that Caddy when you had it.
I'm not even gonna lie. My senior photos were so cringy.
Honestly, looking back, what some senior pictures aren't cringy. Honestly, not mine. I'm perfect.
Not his.
Not mine. I'm taking pictures with cars, and I'm a car guy.
Not about that.
I love my Subaru, but I ain't taking a senior picture with my Subaru. I mean, if I would have taken a picture with my Subaru and put that in the yearbook, I might as well have just put lesbian under the caption.
I'm gay.
I'm gay. I can say that. Don't worry.
Yeah, guys, don't cancel us.
Don't cancel, please. Are you LGBTQ or something?
Are you
guys LGBT something?
LGBT.
Are you homosexuals?
I don't know no LGBT. I know let God be true quick.
Oh my god, who said that? Oh my god, I forgot who said that.
I have no idea.
Was that a Drag Race thing? No, it wasn't Drag Race.
It was just some lady I was thinking.
It was some lady. She's like, let God be true quickly.
I love that so much.
Oh my god. Oh, I love that so much. Oh my goodness, yes. Well, actually, that will tie into... some facts that I have about the Subaru Forester. But I guess anything else before because I kind of going to give you a rundown of a brief history of the Subaru Forester.
One thing I will add before we move on is I was always a little upset that I wasn't able to score the LL Bean edition of the Forester.
Well, I don't. What edition is that? I don't even know what that is.
So they had a collab with LL Bean, which is like clothing and all that. I feel like that also is kind of a throwback to because in the 70s and 80s, luxury cars a lot of the times would do collabs with clothing lines, and so for Subaru to be hey, Levi's wasn't available, so how about we go with this LL Bean? It's so cringy, that brand.
I've never heard of it, so...
It's like 30-year-old dad trying to be hip,
So was the upholstery interior of that edition car, supposed to kind of look like...
honestly...
clothing material? Or what?
I honestly don't even think the upholstery was different. I just think they had stitching on the seats that said LL Bean, and then the car had
was put in a jacket. It was put in a denim jacket.
It had a sleeping bag on. No, I think it had a special kind of green that was specific to the LL Bean editions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course he had Ford that would do collaborations with Eddie Bauer, Eddie Bauer editions, or like AMC with, I believe, was their Gremlin, did a collaboration with Levi, and it basically looked like a denim jacket on wheels. Literally blue everywhere, except for the interior, they couldn't even use the real like denim material because it was too flammable.
Oh my god!
And so
scary.
they used like fake looking denim for their seats, and they're like, "Here's a blue car." I don't know. So I don't know, clothing collaborations,
Clothing and cars. What's going on?
I think the 2000s very much saw, like, in my opinion, the 90s and 2000s when it came to cars and like features and like designs, and I feel like it was trying to call back to like the 70s because even like the design like 90, I feel like the 90s and early 2000s really saw a comeback of like two-door coupes and like fastbacks, which was very like more of a 70s thing. And so I feel like the 90s really saw like a throwback to like 20 years prior to that.
Yeah.
And I feel like now we're 2020s, I feel like the 90s and 2000s like sort of nostalgia is starting to make a comeback, because here we are 20 years later, and like now millenniums, like older millenniums, are like, I remember when I used to listen to cassettes in my first car, in my Saturn, my 92 Saturn.
Okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. I don't know, the additions to cars like that.
No, I love that kind of stuff.
I mean, I love it too, because it very much to me is a car brand being like, we gotta be hip. We gotta like get with the kids. You clothing brand, look kids, we got this cool stitching, and we got some cool stickers and other things.
I know, it was.
You can be cool.
I feel like it was kind of a way for like car companies to be like, hey guys, look who we just collabed with.
Yeah, maybe not be Levi's, but it's this LL
LL Bean.
So, well, like, what trim level was your car? Like, did it have any, like emblem letters on it? Because you know how your Buick is a CXL, right?
Yes.
Was your Subaru any, like, did it have any sort of, like...
I think it was just an L, so I don't know what that means. I think that's just...
Loser!
Loser.
I don't know. I don't know. Actually, let's search that up right now. I'm going to search that up. And I'm going to use my trusty Wikipedia. Let's see.
The Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Honestly, Wikipedia, shout out to her. She's always there when you need her.
Always there for you.
Especially, and if you don't like something on Wikipedia,
Change
go
it.
in and change it. Change it to your truth. Change it to your truth, honestly.
However you feel.
However you feel, that's how it can be. Okay. So, let's see. Well, it looked like the L trim level. I'm trying to look in here. It looks like there was the L trim level and the S. I think the L trim level might have been like the base model.
The L?
I think maybe. I think so, because it looked like there's only... Well, they changed it to the X and XS trim level, but previously it was the L and S trim levels. So it doesn't say exactly which one was the higher one, but I'm just assuming that
I think I figured it out. I think the S meant sport.
Probably. So, I mean, girl, so your car definitely ain't sporty. She wasn't sporting anything. So probably the L was like the base.
Yeah, I think it says, I just see something a little on Reddit, and it says that it was like a little, depending on what year/generation you're talking about.
Or let's go to KBB.
True.
My
Kelly Blue Book.
I love Kelly Blue Books. Sometimes when I'm bored, I will just punch in my friends' cars and be like, let's see, how cheap is their car? I'll be like, how cheap is it really?
That actually, I'm curious now. Out of like, do you check the ratings on your friends' cars?
You don't know that.
Okay, I was gonna ask, like, who has the highest rated car then?
Yeah, the L trim level was the lowest priced. So you had the base.
Why would it be? I'm getting red to filter. Oh my god.
Well, not me, KBB. It says lowest price.
KBB, why are you gonna come for me like
Although
that?
if it makes you feel better, there's only the L and the S trim level. There's only 2 trim levels.
It's okay.
Still, L, loser.
Literally.
Loser! Okay, so you said that there's something particular that you just remembered that you want to say about your car.
Yes, for the longest time, even after I got rid of my Subaru Forester, because don't get me wrong, that was literally such a painful ordeal. I cried and I cried and I cried.
Well, yeah, you just out of the blue, didn't even tell me that you got rid of your Subaru. It's just one day I was like, oh yeah, I mean my caddy. And I'm like, who's this caddy? What happened to Subi? Where's Subi?
Where's Subi?
Where'd she go? What'd he do?
But I remember posting, I just wrote this down, I remember posting on Facebook, before I deactivated my account, that I would have done anything to have, a brand new Subaru Forester, never touched, mint condition, the amount of money that I would pay, hypothetically, if I was a millionaire.
Yeah. A millionaire and you'd be getting a Subaru Forester.
I would, I really would.
You got humble. You gotta stay humble.
Yes.
Exactly.
You gotta show them who you are.
That, speaking of which, if I were ever to be a millionaire, obviously I'd collect cars. That would be a no-brainer. But I'd want to collect every car that my friend had.
That would be so cool.
And so I could have my friends come and be like, oh, do you remember this pile of bolts and nuts? Well, guess what? I have it, and it's in mint condition, so it's better than what you had. Oh.
And even better, you're never going to get to drive it.
Because I don't even drive it. I cannot be caught in a Pontiac.
Yeah, hell no.
I cannot be caught in a Pontiac vibe. No, thank you.
No, ma'am. Good God, no.
Yeah. But I guess I'll kind of share with you what I looked up and sort of wrote down about the Subaru Forester. If you're ready for that.
Let's hear it.
All right. So the Subaru Forester, a prototype was introduced in 1999 at the Tokyo Motor Show, because different big cities have their motor shows.
Yeah.
And the Forester was based off the already existing the Impreza body style.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And the concept car was called the Subaru Striga.
I love that name.
And it came in a forest green.
Stop.
So finally they came out with the actual Subaru, and they named it correctly the Subaru Forester because they wanted to give it sort of an outdoorsy kind of theme.
Outdoors.
And so it went on sale in Japan and in the US in 1997 for the 1998 model year. And so the Subaru Forester officially debuted for the actual market for the 98 model year. So it really has only been around for 25 years.
Whew.
But yeah, it was, when it came out, obviously there were some other compact crossover SUVs at the time, like the Toyota RAV4, and I believe the Honda CR-V, I think, came out just the previous year before that. However, what I thought was interesting, so compact crossover SUVs at the time, a lot of them had high center of gravities, and so they required to come with a warning sticker that it could easily roll over. Same with the Ford Explorer. The Ford Explorer was notoriously known for having rollover accidents. And so the Subaru Forester, it had a lower center of gravity compared to the other crossover SUVs. So it was the only crossover SUV at the time that was not required to have a rollover warning.
Oh,
Which
okay.
I think that's interesting. I think just fun facts like that are pretty interesting.
I love those.
And I guess I'm referring to it as a crossover SUV, and so I guess to let you know what the hell is a crossover SUV. So you have regular SUVs like Chevy Suburban or the Ford Explorer or or like an older Dodge Durango that are regular SUVs. And regular SUVs are truck-based platforms, and so they're usually based off of a already pre-existing truck. And how their I guess body style is it's body on frame construction. So the frame of the vehicle, so like the bottom, and the body, so like, like the, I guess, shell of the vehicle, are assembled separately and then they're put together. Whereas the crossover SUV uses a unibody structure, which means that the frame and body are built at like as one at the same time. And crossover SUVs typically draw more from like passenger cars instead of trucks. And so crossover SUVs, SUVs in general became really like the popular option, especially for like families in the 90s. And like minivans were starting to become kind of obsolete when the SUV came around. But then in the late 90s, early 2000s, people were like, well, we love SUVs, but we want them to be more like a passenger car, not so big and truck-like. And so that's when the crossover SUV became popular, because it was smaller, it was more like a car. However, it still had features like had higher ride height, and it had four-wheel drive, and it offered, obviously more versatility and utility than a regular car. So it's like the best of both worlds of car and like SUV, where it came together. And so typically the first like modern crossover SUV is credited to the Toyota RAV4, which I believe came out in the Japanese market, I think in 95 or 96. But if you really want to go back to like the origins of the crossover SUV, the first crossover SUV was considered to be the AMC Eagle, which AMC no longer exists anymore. But essentially, it was considered first crossover SUV because it came out in 1980 for the 1980 model year, and back then it wasn't really common to have unibody structure, and so it was one of the few cars I think that had like unibody structure. It had a higher elevated ride height, and it came standard. I think it was the only passenger car at the time that came standard with four-wheel drive. And so that's considered to be the first crossover. And it is my dream to have an AMC Eagle wagon, because it's like a small station wagon, and it has four-wheel drive, and I don't know, I just think it'd be a really cool vehicle to have.
Would be.
But yeah, so I guess that's just a little history about the crossover SUV. Something kind of special about the Subaru Forester, because Subaru already had the Impreza around for at least like I think like 5 or so years, but the Forester, every one of them came with all-wheel drive as standard, because the Impreza did not come standard with all-wheel drive. And so the Forester, it was like, all of them come with all-wheel drive as standard. And one thing that was really popular with like small, especially Japanese cars in like the 90s and 2000s, is they always had like a sporty edition. And so Japan, unfortunately the US did not have it, Japan had the sporty STI version of the Subaru. So it came with a turbocharged engine that gave more horsepower. And so what seemed like a little innocent car actually was actually like a sporty car that people like, I don't know, just sporty, compact, like Japanese cars were a really like niche market that a particular group of people, and like, and in America, because Subaru was like, we ain't giving America this sporty version.
No, ma'am.
A lot of people would take a regular Subaru Forester and they would like tune it themselves and make it sporty, because they're like, I guess we gotta do this shit ourselves.
Yeah.
But finally in 2004, the U.S. market finally got a sporty version called the XT, because if you put an X in it, it's automatically sporty. Which it came with a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder that made 210 horsepower, which for a little Subaru, 210 horsepower, that's pretty good. But I think, so the Subaru Forester, when it came out, it was doing good, but then it starts to like have a slump, and so Subaru hired a ad agency to do like a crowd like survey, and they discovered that 80% of buyers were women, and that most were lesbian. And so the whole stereotype that like lesbians drive Subarus, it ain't too far off, because it was discovered that LGBT women were 4 times more likely to own a Subaru.
Period.
And so what Subaru did, because they discovered this sort of unseen, unheard, like huge, audience, they started creating ads that kind of like, that were sort of, in a way, targeted towards these people. And so I wrote some of their ad slogans down. So one is, "It loves camping, dogs, and long-term commitment. Too bad it's only a car." Another one, "It's not a choice, it's the way we're built."
Stop.
And another one, "Entirely comfortable with its orientation."
Oh my god!
And so I guess Subaru was kind of an ally before it was cool for corporations to be an ally.
Well done.
So, those may seem kind of cringe, but in a way, I think it was kind of like cool Subaru to like, at the time, in the 90s, obviously like, the LGBTQ community, of course, was starting to become more like, like...
Prominent?
Well, prominent, but more like, it was more okay and comfortable with the rest of society to be like, okay, they exist. And so I think it's really cool that Subaru took that and was like, you know what? We're going to take that and turn it to, to use it to really show, these lesbians that, hey, Subaru's here for you. And obviously some dealerships and like places around, the world, obviously like some people didn't catch on that these were like, sort of innuendo towards the LGBTQ community. But of course there were those who were like, what is this? We don't like this. This is not okay. And Subaru was like, sorry, hunty.
Sorry,
but
girl.
Lesbians, they really love Subarus.
Lesbians rule the world.
Honestly, LGBTQ women, we love them.
That's not.
But yeah, so your car, so you had a 2002 Subaru Forester. That was the last model year of the first generation Subaru Foresters, because the first generation was from 98 to 2002. And so, I guess, like, do you know what it means, like, different generations of cars?
Yeah.
Where, like, every few or so years, a car manufacturer will be like, we gotta change this shit up a bit. We gotta add some new features, and we gotta redesign it.
Update it to the times.
However, Subaru, for the next generation, 2003, it pretty much looked the same.
Yeah.
They're like, here's a new generation.
Same
and
car.
The same car, just headlights are a bit different.
Yeah.
Yes, but Subaru Forester is currently in its 5th generation. So the most recent generation was introduced in 2019, and one thing that I feel like I've really noticed about like compact crossover SUVs is obviously like a lot of them have been around for like 15, 20, 25 years. I feel like they've gotten bigger over time.
Yes.
And I feel like it's contradicting what they're originally were meant to be. Like, looking at a Toyota RAV4, like when it first came out versus now, or a Subaru then versus now, or like a Honda then versus now. Like, I feel like they shouldn't even be I don't even know how they're still considered to be in the same class of compact.
Yeah.
Like, they seem like mid-sized SUVs.
They're huge.
And the problem, too, is because car manufacturers give what consumers want, and consumers, Americans, we're greedy, and so we're like, a compact SUV? How dare it be compact?
Yeah.
I want it bigger. And it's like, but I feel like that defeats the purpose.
Literally.
Of a, like, my mom has a 2022 Honda CR-V, and girl, it's like, I'm like, compact, it's literally sitting next to her minivan. It's almost the same size. I feel like Americans, stop being greedy and needing everything bigger. Compact SUVs, they're supposed to be compact, okay? That a compact SUV with small space, yeah, if you want bigger space, get a mid-size SUV.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, so I think Subaru Forester, overall, I mean, of course, looking at automotive history, it hasn't been around that long.
No.
But, like, it was one of the first compact crossover modern SUVs. Came out, like, a few years after the Toyota RAV4 and came out, like, around the same time as the Honda CR-V. And I think that is when, like, Japanese or, like, other, like, Korean car brands, I think, started having their second, like, sort of, like, renaissance in America, because obviously Japanese cars first became popular in the 70s when America saw when the world saw the oil crisis, and people turned to small Japanese cars like Hondas and Toyotas because they got good gas mileage and they were very easy to take care of. And so I feel like the late 90s and early 2000s really saw a re-emergence of Japanese cars, with them being like, we got these crossover SUVs that we know you Americans will love.
Eat them up.
We know you'll eat them up because your fat asses need to make it to McDonald's and need to put all your rinky-dinky stuff that you got at Walmart in the back of this car.
Literally, American dream.
The American dream, buying Japanese cars. I mean, my mom has Toyota, my sister has a Honda, and I have a Subaru. So what does that say? What does that say?
The family's full of lesbians.
We are lesbians. We lesbian now. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But yeah. So I feel like, I mean, that's the information I have for you about Subaru. I hope you feel a little bit more informed about the Forester, and that wasn't too, like, spitting in your face about it, you know?
No, I actually love that. Like, learning the history behind my car and, like, almost like the movement behind my car. What started it all?
Your movement, you know what? Your car threw the first stone at Stonewall. Threw the first brick at Stonewall. The Subaru Forester was there at Stonewall when the first brick was thrown.
Literally.
She started the LGBTQ moment.
My car actually was a pioneer in the human rights campaign.
Your car originated drag.
Literally.
Originated drag, hunty. Yeah, no, I love Subarus. I probably will get another Subaru Outback when, hopefully this one still lasts for quite some time. I mean, I think Subaru in their commercials say that 90% of Subarus are still on the road after 15 years.
That's crazy.
I mean, if you stay Subaru, you ain't got to get Subaru.
Literally.
But no, I guess, like, anything else that you, like, you know, want to talk about your car, anything else that, like, you want to put out there for all the listeners?
Yes, there are a couple things. First things first, can we please give a shout out to the long lost relative of the Subaru Forester, Miss Subaru Baja?
The Baja, oh my goodness.
Never gets recognition.
The Baja was, based off the, I think, Legacy. But, of course, the Legacy is related to the Forester. It's just a bigger version. But, you know Xavier?
Yeah.
He has a Baja. 2006 Subaru Baja, and I love it.
Makes me so jealous.
The Baja, I know you want a Baja. You want a yellow Baja, don't you?
For so long I've wanted one.
I think, then, do you know the Subaru Brat? Which is the predecessor. Well, oh god. The Subaru Brat was the predecessor to the Subaru Baja. It was, I can't remember, it was based off the What was it based on? It was based off of the Subaru Leon. And what was really cool about it, it came out in like, I think it came out in like the late 70s, I want to say. And it was of course a car-based small truck. And it was a 4-passenger truck. However, two of the seats were rearward facing jump seats in the bed of the truck.
What does that even mean?
Basically, it was two, like, ricky-dicky plastic seats that were put on the outside in the bed of the truck that faced backwards. And that was street legal until, I think, like, 1986.
I need this car.
So you could pile in three of your other friends as long as it's a nice sunny day.
Yeah, literally.
When it start raining, make sure you have those ponchos because she getting wet.
Yeah.
But no, Subaru Bratz. I think Bratz stands for like bi-terrain recreational. Like what does Bratz stand for? Because you know these cars gotta have abbreviations.
Oh yeah.
I gotta search it up now because I gotta do that for you. If my freaking internet can work, and I don't have internet connection.
No, but I've always just been such a fan of like the goofy design of the Baja. Like
I know.
So
I mean,
out there.
I think this past April Fools. I think this past April 1st, Subaru came out with like April Fools. So like, ooh, coming out with the Baja again, and they're like, JK, you thought.
Psych.
Honestly, the Subaru Baja, it is one of those cars, one of those early 2000s cars that at the time people were like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And now here we are 15 years later and people are like, I eat that up.
I eat that
up.
They did not know that they were slaying in the moment.
They did not. Honestly, they started a movement. Subaru always starting movements.
Yes.
Can you actually use my internet's not working?
Yeah.
Can you because now can you just search up like Subaru Brat BRAT and then just like Wikipedia. I don't know why my Wi-Fi ain't working. Should be doing so.
There you go.
Okay. So Subaru Outback stands for Bi-Drive Recreational All-Terrain Transporter. That's a lot. That's a mouthful, hunty.
Sounds like a time machine.
Was the light-duty four-wheel drive coupe utility version of the Subaru Leon. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Leone.
Leon.
It was originally introduced in 1977 for the 78 model year. So, I mean, this is what it looked like.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, you can look, but it was a little goofy ass car.
Yes.
Because in the late 70s, there was kind of a movement with like small compact utility trucks. And of course, Subaru was like, we gotta get on this. So let's just take a car we already have, chop off the back half, and just make it a bed of a truck.
I love that so much.
Yeah, so I don't know, Subaru, I think it's just such an interesting car brand. Subaru was that girl that said yes and. She always said it. She always, truth or dare, she always picked dare.
Yes!
She always picked dare.
She was out there and she was not afraid to show who she was.
Subaru, I'm proud of her.
Yes.
She's been around for a long... And actually, Subaru, I think the Subaru actually was the first car brand to introduce four-wheel drive option for a passenger car. Wow. For the Subaru Leon, I think it's early, in at least Japan, I think it's early as 1972.
Whew.
But I think it wasn't brought over to America, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Americans have to wait a few years. I think it wasn't brought over to America until like 1976.
Wow.
So the Subaru, I guess, could be considered the first, like, passenger car to come with four-wheel drive. However, not a crossover because I think it was body on frame structure. So the AMC Eagle still gets the first crossover. Can you keep it quiet out there on the highway?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's not a Subaru.
Small D energy.
For real.
Anyways, I don't know. I guess to wrap up this this car chat here,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you joining me because I just love talking about cars, and you have had plenty of cars to
Way
talk
too
about.
many.
Way too many. Anyways, thank you so much. And I loved hearing about your story with your car, and of course, I love sharing what I know about cars. And for those of you listening, if anyone's listening, hope you enjoyed this episode of Carmageddon Car Chat. And I guess just stay tuned for when the next episode will drop after this. So have a nice day, and Subaru LGBTQ ally. Peace out.
We out.